Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to your reading for July 2023. Sorry, I just totally messed this deck up. So let's do that again here, Gemini, and that's much better. All right. We're going to jump right in here, see what's going on for you. You have this this diligence and focus card. So clearly those two words are very similar. And I feel like you need to be diligent and focused on whatever it is that you're working on. There could be a lot of distractions here. Here's the thing. Is what I will tell you, Gemini, is I believe that we are in a time where there are a lot of distractions. I feel like there's a lot going on, a lot that we can get caught up in, in basically everything that's going on in the world. But what I feel like you need to realize is, like, successful people, they don't even focus on that. They just focus on what's, like, right in front of them. I just see, like I've said this before, I see a lot of people in the future, like, wishing, that maybe they didn't worry so much about things that just are not that big of a problem, not as big of a problem as they think it is. And, I don't know what to say, but I think people are going to worry about things, or do worry about things that just they have no control over, or there's nothing they can do about it. So I really feel like, people need to kind of like more focus on what's right in front of them and what they can control, what they can affect, if that makes sense. And so I would definitely make sure that you're not getting caught up in, kind of like dramas or things like that in your life with this Five of Wands. Because I think it's just a distraction you don't need. And there looks to be a lot of success that could be coming in for you, of course. In this reading, you have the Ten of Pentacles, Lovers. You do have the Tower here, but that just looks like, some sort of competition in a relationship, or competition because of a relationship. But again, I would ignore it. I think it's just a distraction, plain and simple. So you have the Five of Wands here. And again, this is like one of those cards where I would really make sure that you are just not even paying attention to competition. Again, I say it all the time that I believe we're entering into a time of co-creation anyway, so I wouldn't even worry about competition. I would be thinking, it's like if there is competition, I would be thinking, like, how can I work together with the competition? How can I, benefit the competition? Because again, it will only benefit you in the future. So, again, those are like the things I would be thinking. And again, don't get distracted by, the chaos of the world either, is what I would say. You have the Queen of Wands. Again, I feel like this would be a good energy for you to embrace, being bold, being assertive, but also, again, diligence and focus. Here's the thing, is that she has this sunflower right here. Sunflowers in the tarot, they point towards the sun. So they represent focusing on things that bring in joy, happiness, abundance, light, clarity, all those things into your life. Like, trust me, I get all these comments from people all the time that are like, how dare you not worry about the, rare Peruvian porcupine squirrel, that is going extinct. How dare you not worry about that? I'm like, I just don't care about it. Number one, okay, who cares? Number two, it's like I can't directly save the squirrels, right? I can't, there's nothing I can do to save the rare Peruvian porcupine squirrel. There's nothing I can do about it, right? So it's like, unless I can directly affect it, I'm not going to do it. And again, I think that we need more light in the world. So it's like, if you're just focusing on problems, you're focusing on darkness. It's like, instead, why don't you go do something about it? Move to Peru, save the porcupine squirrel. I'm all about it. But, it's like, again, I think people worry about things they can't control. So it's like, unless you're going to change it, then you're just barking about it, plain and simple. And, that just is what it is. So, I feel for a lot of you, this is saying focus on happiness and joy. Again, we haven't tried it for a long time. For like hundreds of years, what is the media focused on? They only focus on the negative. I feel like it's time that we start focusing on the positive and see what happens. Like, people always love to tell me, oh, it doesn't work. I'm like, okay, yeah, but what has what we've been doing worked? No, it hasn't worked. You have the Nine of Wands here. So Nine of Wands says, try it. It says, don't give up. Try something new, right? It doesn't even want to focus. There you go. So, Nine of Wands is my card of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. So, don't be afraid to try new things, try different things. Don't be afraid to experiment. Again, I say we're in a time of experimentation. I'm a big fan of experimentation right now for the rest of your life. So, experimentation is just trying something new. With the Five of Wands, you have the Four of Wands. And Four of Wands, card of marriage. You go here, Lovers to the Tower. For some of you, this could be a separation or competition in a relationship, but I feel like this is something different, Gemini. I feel like this is a person you thought you were going to marry. The first row is your past position, so I feel like some of you maybe thought you were going to marry a person in the past and it didn't work out, but I feel like this reading is saying there's new love that's much better coming in for you, so wouldn't even worry about it. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Three of Swords. it's kind of weird because I do get like regrets here or something like that. Three of Swords is just a card of heartbreak, sadness. It is a card that represents temporary heartbreak, though it's not permanent. But I really feel like some of you, this reading is kind of like saying to me to not get distracted by a breakup either. For some of you, I feel like you already went through a breakup or a separation because, again, it's coming up in your past position. But I do feel there's either a need to heal from it or to realize that maybe this person felt like your person, but I feel like that's because they were like your stepping stone soulmate. This is giving me the vibes of a stepping stone soulmate. I always say a stepping stone soulmate comes before your like true soulmate, and usually you feel a very deep connection to them because of that, because they're preparing you for like the true person, right? With the Nine of Wands, you have the Three of Wands. It's time for you to expand and get out in the world. I feel like it's time for you to change your story as well. Again, my whole new my Chris Rec channel, I'm doing all these videos about experimentation, and like experimentation could be, normally like every day I go this way down my road. It's like tomorrow maybe I'll go that way down my road, a different direction. Again, when we do something different and we don't repeat patterns, we are changing our story. And again, I feel like there's a lot of power right now in doing that. And no matter how little that seems, like it doesn't seem important walking down the other direction down my road, right? But you never know. Maybe I bump into a new person who leads me to the level of my life, or maybe I bump into a person who changes my business or something like that. Again, it's like you're not going to find these opportunities if you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, right? So that's why I would encourage you to experiment in all areas of your life. Next, in the area of what you don't see coming, you have this card that says, be willing to let go of everything you once thought to be true. Literally what I just said. You thought you were going to marry a person. I feel like you need to let go of it. You have this card that says, there's still time to change the road you're on. It's never too late. Yes, it's always, I always say it. I don't care how old you are. You have plenty of time to change. You have plenty of time to do something that you want to do. So again, now is the time to do what you want to do with your life. I feel like there's a lot of blessings and just good things that are coming in for you here. But again, I feel like you need to be willing to let go of things that aren't true. You have the Three of Cups, the Lovers, and the Justice card. I feel like this Lovers is kind of like your energy, obviously. So this puts you in a position of power and strength. I also sometimes feel that the Lovers is kind of like out with the old and with the new. It's like this side here is kind of like a burning tree. This side here is much nicer. And so to me, it can be a card of being at a crossroads. It's like you have a choice to make. You can choose disaster, or you can choose something amazing that's coming in for you. This is the past. This is something new going this direction. So I feel like it's quite simple with the Tower. I feel like it's just saying, like, don't go back to a situation from the past. Doesn't even have to be love. Could be anything. I feel like everything is coming in on a new path. I also, this right here is this guy right here is your higher self angel. So I kind of feel like the universe is preparing you or is guiding someone into your life, someone new. It could be another air sign. You do have the Justice card here, which would be Libra. It could just be a person who has like air in their chart or something. You have Aquarius showing up here as well with the Magician. So, it could be any sign, but, what I would say here is I feel like this is talking about balance and like good things coming in for you here with the Justice card. I also feel the Justice card is really the time that we're in. I think that we really need to pay attention to cause and effect, like what we put into situations and what we get out of them. I feel like we need to be very careful about like our investments of energy and making sure that we invest in things that invest back into us, jobs, businesses, relationships, everything. You have the Three of Cups here as well. I kind of just getting socializing here. Like I feel like it would be a really good time for you to make sure that you're socializing, having a good time, spending time with people who matter to you, all that stuff. It's kind of like popping into my head here. So I would make sure that you're kind of investing in quality relationships. And I'm not talking about love here. I'm talking about, like, I think it would be a good time for you to be in your community, your tribe, your group of people, whatever it is. They could lead to, again, a lot. Like, I get something here. I said it about, like, getting an idea from a random stranger, but I literally feel some of you could be getting, like, really good ideas from the people in your life. You have that Ten of Pentacles, which is, coming up right next to it, which is amazing. You have the Temperance card. Temperance is about turning like an experience into something else. It's a card of alchemy, turning one thing into another. And again, you have that card here that says, be willing to let go of everything you once thought to be true. So it's like I feel like you're changing something around, or you could just be taking the lesson that you learned from this past, like if this was a past love situation, and you could be making sure that you don't make the same mistakes, or that you pay attention to what you didn't pay attention to, or, whatever the case may be. With the Lovers, you have the Eight of Cups here. Yes, I mean, clearly you are walking away from a person going this way, or you're walking away from something. I'm wondering if they're spying on you or if you're spying on each other here, Gemini. I am totally calling you out because I'm wondering, this to me looks like two people who are spying on each other. Again, take it how it resonates. Might not be true for all of you, but it's like if you're both spying on each other, you're both pulling on each other's energies, and that's probably making it harder to walk away. So again, I would stop doing that here. And if you're watching tarot, you are spying. So, what I would say here is maybe it's time to stop, or maybe it's time to do things to like cut the energy out once and for all, so that you can have your 10 of Pentacles, right? With the Justice card, you have the Page of Wands here. Again, another card of desire. We are in a time of desire. Everybody gets something about this in their readings, pretty much. I really feel we need to move towards passions, desires. We need to invite more passion and desire into our life, meaning we need to do more of the things that make us happy. And again, to me, happiness is like the result of achievement. So we need to start like setting, I don't even think it's about setting goals. I think it's more about setting, just like having certain standards in your life that you set where you meet those standards and you don't go back, you don't go backwards, right? But also like growing, it's like one of my favorite people of all time, Brian Tracy. He says, how much does a tree grow? And it's as much as possible. And it might actually be Jim Rohn that says that. But he says, as much as possible. Again, humans, we pretty much say like, oh, I just need to make like $100,000 a year, or I just need to have this lover, or, whatever. And we don't like keep growing. People just stay the same. And I feel like this is saying you are meant to grow. So keep growing, right? Look for opportunities to have more accomplishments and things like that. You have this shark card. We're looking at what's coming towards you, and it says survival, power. You have this peacock. It says pregnancy and wealth on it. So I would be careful if you're not trying to get pregnant. Again, a couple people in those third quarter readings that I just did had a million pregnancy cards. You have the tower. It could be a surprise. For some of you, I feel that it will be a surprise, but it could be a good surprise, could work out. But again, as I always say, wrap it before you tap it, right? Don't, if you're not trying to get pregnant, I would be careful. And guess what? If you can't get pregnant, this message isn't for you. So I don't need to hear that you're 70 years old and can't get pregnant. I get it. But what I would say here is that I also feel there could be an increase in your wealth. You have the 10 of Pentacles. You have the 10 of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, and the Tower. The 10 of Pentacles is about building or leaving a legacy, and again, pretty much everyone gets the 10 of Pentacles nowadays. It makes sense because we have Uranus and Taurus, Uranus and Taurus. We also have Jupiter and Taurus as well now, but Uranus and Taurus specifically is about building, leaving a legacy, because Uranus and Taurus really puts a focus on values and also freedom at the same time. And so obviously if you were to build it or leave a legacy, you would be both valuable and free. And, that's what I'd be focusing on with this card. 10 of Pentacles can also represent hidden or secret information. You have the Page of Swords. It's not really hidden or secret. It's just, there are things we have to learn sometimes where it's like we have to go look, and I always say that we're in a time where we have to move a lot of dirt to get to the gold. So I feel like now is an amazing time to like learn how to be more successful, or to educate yourself on the areas of your life where you want to find success. This could be in business, work, love, whatever. And so it's literally as simple as reading a book, watching YouTube videos about things that you're interested in. But more importantly is putting it into action, is like learning something about money and trying it. Because again, we shouldn't just learn and then just keep it trapped up here, right? Plain and simple. You have the Tower. I definitely feel there was a Tower moment in your life, like some sort of surprise here. Something didn't go according to plan. For a lot of you, it could be, again, a person that you thought you were going to marry. It could have been a fire sign for sure. And, I kind of, again, just feel like I don't have any good advice, if I'm being honest with you. You know what I mean? There's nothing good popping into my head about it other than move on, right? So, that it just is what it is here, Gemini. But let's see what else we can get here in this situation. You have the star popping out there. We are in a time of the star. Pluto will be officially moving into Aquarius at the end of the year, beginning of next year. And, it's an amazing time to stand out, get attention, all that other stuff. With the 10 of Pentacles, you have the High Priestess. There is an element here of potential. High Priestess is my card of potential. She has no roof over her head, and it just kind of represents the fact that whatever she's thinking about has unlimited potential, but potential is just potential. If she doesn't, move the dirt to get to the gold, if she doesn't put in the work, if she doesn't take the leap of faith, then nothing is going to happen. So I feel for a lot of you, this is encouraging that you could be having ideas, plans, intuitive ideas as well. You could be getting excited. I keep telling people, pay attention to your inspirations. Pluto and Aquarius will be a very inspirational time. And inspiration is just you get an idea that makes you excited. Just that simple, right? And you might wake up one day and be like, I want to start a drunken popsicle factory where maybe you start some sort of popsicle that is a alcoholic beverage or something like that. You come up with some crazy ass idea. Do it. Figure it out because it will make you successful. And again, if you follow our inspirations, we will be successful. With the Page of Swords, you have the Seven of Cups. Yeah, too much confusion. Again, I feel like if this is a breakup with a person from the past, it was just confusing or just, I don't know, there's something confusing about it. So I would avoid confusion at all costs, and I would realize that you have a much better option coming in for you. With the Tower, yes, you have the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is about bathing in the energy of something you want. Again, I always say we have to be the energy of something we want before we can have it. So, I feel like it's time for you to kind of really, soak up become the thing you want before you actually become it. And, start mirroring the energy of what you want, act as if. And that's really what I'm getting here. But definitely a wish coming in for you. Again, it is interesting. You go 8 of Cups to the 9 of Cups. So obviously you're heading towards a wish. At the end here, for messages from your future self, you have this Fates card and this Higher Power card. I feel like you are being divinely guided. I kind of said that on the Lovers as well. That higher self angel is like guiding you towards something, and I feel like it is fated. You are being guided. It is a time of fate that we are in as well, but this Fates card in this deck is one of my favorite cards. It's just a good card. It's a card of moving towards your destiny. It's a card of something that is destined to be in your life coming in for you. So there's definitely something about fate here. You have the Fool, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Magician. Yeah, it's like you attracted something into your life, but now you have to take the leap of faith. The Fool, he has everything he needs right between his two ears. He has this tiny little sack right here, and he's about to go on a huge journey. He's about to go from himself, the Fool, all the way through to the World card, the whole entire major arcana. So it's like you're about to go on a journey, but I feel like you're more than prepared. Like, don't hesitate if you're about to start something new. It's like you have everything you need. You have the Queen of Pentacles here. Yeah, she's resourceful. We are in a time of resourcefulness. I always tell people, like, if you think you're going to, start something and have the money to do it, you're not. You have to come up with other ways to do things. And it doesn't say that you won't have the money. It just says that if you think that when you start that you're going to have the money, you won't. So what's the deal? We just have to get started. If you want to move somewhere, maybe you can't afford to move somewhere, but I would start getting the wheels into motion because the universe is like, oh, they're proving it. So now we'll get out of the way. And, I would just like start making it happen. Just get started. Start doing research. Start looking for places. Start, just seeing, start imagining it, and, things will happen. You have the Magician, which says you will literally attract what you want and need in a situation. So, and I would also say, like, don't be afraid to reinvent yourself here with the Magician. He's a card of reinvention. He's pointing at this card down here, which you can't see, but what do you know? This card says courage. I always take the card when he shows up at the end that he's pointing to, and you have this courage card. So whatever you're doing is going to require courage, and, again, that's like part of it. I always tell the story, like years ago, I moved to Seattle with my brother. We didn't really have the money at the time to do it, but we just did it. And it's we could just barely do it, I should say. It's like we just barely were able to like squeak it by, right? But when we moved to Seattle, I started making more money. He started making more money. He got a better job here in, all this other stuff. So it's like, I feel like sometimes we just have to, take the leap of faith, and we have to have the courage to do it. And that's what this is really saying. With the Fool card, you have the Ace of Swords. Definitely could be a victory coming in for you here, but you're going to have to take the risk. Ace of Swords is a card of sacrifice. It can represent cutting one thing out so that you can have something else. And the whole entire reading basically has said that you're cutting something out. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Fool. So again, that makes sense. Just take the leap of faith. With the Magician, you have the Ace of Pentacles. 2 aces in this last row. Love it. 2 aces is a definite new beginning. Also, the Ace of Pentacles is just an opportunity. Ace of Pentacles, I always look at as like a seed. To me, it represents having something that you have to grow, like in a garden. And so I feel for a lot of you that this is saying that you need to, like nurture something into existence. We're going to pull 5 main themes now. You have this card that says sorrow over loss. Again, yes, you are. I feel like you're grieving the loss of a person or a situation that you thought was going to be forever, whatever it is. But it looks like you're moving on to something better. You have this Carriage. It says a journey, either physical or mental. I think it would be a good time for you to go on a vacation, to travel, to do any of those things that you want to do. You have this pin. It says new job, new career. Yeah, money looks amazing for you. So whatever you're doing to improve your finances, or if you have ideas, as well to improve your finances, I would definitely get working on whatever those ideas are, because I see a lot of abundance there. And again, you even have this career card as well. So look, but again, I would be looking. You're gonna have to move a lot of dirt to get to the gold. Like I said, I feel like there could be an opportunity that requires more work, or maybe doing some research would bring more money into your life, and I would do that. Maybe learning like a new technique to grow your business or grow in your career, but it's gonna require a little bit of work. You have this February card, and I always clarify these monthly cards, and it says stepping into a new experience. Yeah, so it's like, I feel like by the time we get to February, your life is going to be a new experience. I'm not saying that it's going to take a long time. Like, by the way, it'll be February before you know it, but, I don't think it's going to take that long, but I feel like you're kind of like working up to something, that is going to happen at that time. It's like that's when it's going to peak or something like that is popping into my head. So that's pretty interesting. But this is a really good reading here. I would just be courageous. I would be bold, move towards the things you want, and I feel like you'll be very successful. And, it's like there's a lot of fate, kind of like the universe on your side with that fates card. But this looks really good. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.